sun is in her eyes. Thousands are one in her eyes. So she stumbles through the fields. She can't see, though she tries. Should've worn her pennant. Now she stumbles. Now she cries. Her skin's red and it burns, and the fields go on for miles. Life sucks you dry. She wonders why. Wonders why.
hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
Mr. President, I know you've urged people to move on, but I'm curious, why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled? Why do you think that is?
So the different things, the Steele dossier, which was all fake, all that information was fake. But I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going. But credible information, let them give it. Anything that's credible, I would say, let them have it.
Jeffrey Epstein was your neighbour. I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about him. East 71st Street. He was your neighbour for 10 years. How well did you know him?
All right, so we are in number 11, and he lives in number 9.
Right.
So we renovate, we buy our house, and our house is pigeons and mice.
Right.
Okay, that's it. It was derelict.
Right.
So we rebuild our house. We move in 2005. Okay. Jeffrey Epstein is arrested in like 08, I think, or something like that.
Right.
So knock on the door. His assistant on like a Saturday says, Mr. Epstein, your neighbor would like to invite you over for coffee. So my wife and I go next door. We walk the 7 steps,
Yes.
right, to the next house for coffee. We share a wall.
Right.
Right. So it's New York City. So he invites us in. We have coffee in this, and he says, "Do you want a tour?" We said, "Great."
Interesting.
He's got a really big house.
Every room you went into?
He's got. Well, I'll tell you. So his house is like super big, really wide, and so he gives me a tour in the living room, big living room, and then across from it is double doors. I assume it's the dining room.
Yeah.
And he opens the door, and there's a massage table in the middle of the room.
Ooh.
And candles all around and stuff. So I ask very insightful, cutting questions. I say to him, massage table in the middle of your house? How often do you have a massage? And he says, every day. And then he gets weirdly close to me.
Ooh.
And he says, and the right kind of massage.
Ooh.
Now my wife is standing here. So she looks at me and I look at her and we say, I'm sorry, we have to go. And we left. And in the 6 or 8 steps it takes to get from his house to my house, my wife and I decided that I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was never in the room with him socially. for business or even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross. And so I look back at it as a gift.
Yes.
He gave me a gift
Yes.
of a voice. And so, yeah,
So
that's
he
my
was-
story. A one and absolutely done.
Why did the Epstein files show you coordinating a meeting and planning a visit with Jeffrey Epstein on his private island in December 2012?
Thank you for the question. I'm glad to be here to make it clear that I met Jeffrey Epstein when I moved to a house next door to him in New York. Right? And I met him then. Over the next 14 years, I met him 2 other times that I can recall. 2 times. And that is none for 6 years. So 6 years later, I met him. And then a year and a half after that, I met him and never again. Probably the total, and you've seen all of these documents, of these millions and millions of documents, there may be 10 emails connecting me with him, probably about 10 emails connecting me with him over a 14-year period. I did not have any relationship with him. I barely had anything to do with that person, okay?
Secretary Lutnik, I think you understand the root of concern here. It's the way you described very emphatically your first encounter with him in his apartment, said you were disgusted, would never have any contact with him again. Did you, in fact, make the visit to Jeffrey Epstein's private island?
I did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. My wife was with me, as were my 4 children and nannies. I had another couple they were there as well with their children, and we had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my wife, all together. We were on family vacation. We were not apart. To suggest there was anything untoward about that in 2012, I don't recall why we did it, but
Mr. Secretary, again, as I said, there's not an indication that you yourself engaged in any wrongdoing with Jeffrey Epstein. It's the fact that you believe that you misled the country and the Congress based on your earlier statements, suggesting that you cut off all contact when in fact you had not. When you visited the private island, did you see anything inappropriate during that visit?
the only thing I saw with my wife and my children and the other couple and their children was staff who worked for Mr. Epstein on that island.
And you realize that, you know, this visit took place after he'd been convicted, right? I mean, you made a very big point of saying that you sensed that this was a bad person in 2005. And then, of course, in 2008, he was convicted of soliciting prostitution of a minor. And yet you went and had this trip and other interactions. Did you have a dinner in Epstein's New York City home in 2011?
No.
So the information that suggests that there was a dinner with Woody Allen and Woody Allen's spouse at the Epstein residence, that's there's nothing to that. Is that right?
I actually don't know what you're referring to. There was, look, I looked through the millions of documents for my name, just like everybody else. And what I found was there was a document that says that I had a meeting with him on in May, I think, for an hour at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
Not dinner or otherwise, for an hour at 5 o'clock.
All right. There's also a reference to the fact that Epstein had expressed an interest in meeting your nanny. Do you know whether Jeffrey Epstein ever met with your nanny?
No, I saw that. I had no idea what that was about. It had nothing to do with me.
No
as far as
interaction
I
at
know.
all with him in there?
No. as far as I know now.
Would you, Mr. Secretary, be willing to ensure that the file is complete to share with this committee and the Congress your own records, any records you have that relate to Jeffrey Epstein?
I will surely talk about that. I hadn't thought about that. I have nothing to hide. Absolutely nothing.
Right. So, I mean, that's an incredible story that you could pick up that he was a pervert.
It's gross. The guy's gross. Right with my wife. Like, he's gross. The guy's gross. This was not, the deep nuance of Howard Lutnik. This guy's gross.
Right. So how come Bill Gates and all these other people could hang around him and not see what you saw? Or did they see it and ignore it? Or
No, they participated.
right.
That's what his MO was, get a massage. And what happened in that massage room, I assume, was on video. This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever. Blackmailed people. That's how he had money.
So what happened to those videos? Why is there now such a dearth of information when, Donald Trump's people are running the FBI and the DOJ?
I assume way back when, they traded those videos in exchange for him getting that 18-month sentence, which allowed him to have visits and be out of jail. I mean, he's a serial sex offender. How could he get 18 months and be able to go to his office during the day and have visitors and stuff? It must have been a trade. So my assumption, I have no knowledge, but my assumption is there was a trade for the videos because there were people on those videos.
And have you talked to Donald Trump about this and shared your theory?
No, I mean, he knows the story.
Right.
But
my
story, that, I was one and done with the guy. He knows that story, but... That's it.
He would have been interested in that story.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just a story. It's just a one and done. That guy. Ugh.
And did Trump feel the same way about him?
I don't know. Speak to him about these kind of... These are just distractions.
Right.
The thing about the president is I'm doing the most important thing that I see. And then right after we do that, he does 10 other things that are as, if not more important, that are not my thing.
Right.
And you're like, wow. And he is great at it. And sometimes he lets me stay. So he lets me stay for the Joint Chiefs of Staff come in.
Right.
Like, this is like the coolest thing ever.
You sit here and you attack the president, and I am not going to have it. I'm not going to put up with it. All they want to do, the American people need to know this. They are talking about Epstein today. This has been around since the Obama administration. This administration released over 3 million pages of documents, over 3 million. And Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history. And none of them asked Merrick Garland over the last 4 years one word about Jeffrey Epstein. How ironic is that? You know why? Because Donald Trump, the Dow right now is over. The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about. We should be talking about making Americans safe. We should be talking about, what does a Dow have to do with anything? That's what they just asked. Are you kidding?
Mr. Jordan,
Mr.
Jordan.
Committee will be in order.
Secretary Lutnik today was testifying on the Hill. He said that he had visited Epstein's Island in 2012 with his wife and children, and that's after he said that he had cut ties with Epstein. And the Justice Department documents show that he was in contact with Epstein through 2018 over messages. So does the White House stand behind Secretary Lutnik right now, or given what he has said today, has there been any shift in how the White House is viewing Secretary Lutnik's performance?
No, Secretary Lutnik remains a very important member of President Trump's team, and the president fully supports the secretary.
Welcome to Through a Glass Darkly Live. You are watching us on YouTube. And the intro song was Mark of the Doomslayer by Carl Casey at Whitebat Audio. Welcome back, everyone. I know people are getting annoyed that I show that, but I have to make that point because I can't stand that scumbag. So obviously, let me see, what else we got? Oh, Lutnik's brother is dead, right? I think. Or no, he's not. Yeah, he's dead. Well, hypothetically. Yeah, but it also helps me come up with content too. Let's see. All right. So we had another assassination attempt tonight. I know very little about it, but I might pop up some news sources and whatnot. But I mean, this, like, it's one of two things, right? It's, another canned attempt by Trump to pop up his popularity. I'm becoming more and more convinced that the Butler shooting was staged. It doesn't mean it was, but the fact that there's no serious investigation, or there does not appear to be a serious investigation, is hugely suspect to me. And I'm starting to just be suspicious about it. And then, so why not this? Same thing. His approval numbers are in the dirt. And, maybe he's trying to gain sympathy. I hope it sounds like one of the commenters here said it sounds like somebody was actually killed, which is not good. But so Roger is saying, last I heard, security shot someone in the hall outside trying to gain access. I've not heard if the suspect was armed. Yeah. So anyway, I said two things. So it's either staged, or this is kind of, I don't know if I predicted it here, but the elites have been at war with the people for at least 3 decades, and now the people are starting to notice. And this is the natural evolution of that. The people are going to start to strike back against the elites. I don't condone it. I don't, there shouldn't be any violence, but when voting doesn't fix the problem, violence does. That's just the way these things naturally evolve. So I'm trying to conjure some sympathy for this whole thing, but it's really hard right now. It's really hard right now. But obviously, no one should engage in such acts because they will destroy your life and destroy everybody else around you. Let's see. How you doing, Spider-Bite? All right. Almost immediate. Hey, Harry, sorry. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I know it's a comedy show, the Correspondence Dinner. It's supposed to be funny. Okay, so Philip Blair saying that I guess Trump rescheduled cannabis and signed an executive order on psychedelic therapy for PTSD. Trump has my sympathy here specifically. That's because Joe Rogan called him. You can thank Joe Rogan, not Trump. Trump did it because Joe Rogan has the largest podcast audience, probably, or one of the largest podcast audiences in the world. Like, you can always trace Trump's actions to pure self-interest, naked self-interest. But you can thank Trump for the iBeGame thing. Or not Trump, sorry. You can't, no. You can thank Rogan for doing it. So Sheldon, Miriam, Trump, I did what I had to do to rig that election. However, look at what happened. It's what they wanted. Yeah, it's all kind of what they wanted to happen. All right, so let me see if I can pull up the next best thing. Okay. Let's see. Let's get this thing up. Actually, it's not ideal. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right, so here's kind of how it happened. Actually, this is the wrong stream. Here's when it happened. It's about 3 minutes. We'll play the 3 minutes and then see what happens. Yeah, it's hard to hear what's going on, or let's see. It looks like it's pretty uneventful here. So they clearly cleared out Trump. And everybody else is just kind of sitting like pigs ready to be slaughtered. Look at them. I mean, I would be under the desk right now, or under the table, scanning for whatever was out there. But look, I mean, these people are behaving like sheep, which is, a good sign. I mean, they're the elite. Good sign. I'm not going to say why that's a good sign, but it's a good sign. Zero tactical training, zero situational awareness. Like fish in a barrel. Yeah, again, somebody starting a chant. The last thing you need is somebody chanting when you're trying to hone all your senses to hear and figure out what's going on. But these idiots, obviously, some idiots in the room thought that would be, that would be helpful in some way. It's okay. They're all just standing around gawking. All right. So seems to be where we are right now. Yeah, he did not look surprised at all. Did not seem, he's probably exhausted. Oh, really? Oz Perlman was the talent this year? What a surprise. Yeah. Air tampon stocks just went up again. Oh, God. How did someone get in? I mean, they could potentially they scope out the property early, like a week early, hide the weapon somewhere, and then come in and retrieve it. That would be a pretty sensible way to do it. And you would just have to hope that the Secret Service, if you are someone of that constitution and mindset, doesn't sweep the building and find it beforehand. But that's probably how you do it. Or you have an inside man, somebody who is part of the security detail that just hands you the weapon. So, or if it's an inside job, it's easily done, right? So, or they use different material, like a porcelain weapon or plastic weapon or something, right? So, I don't know. There's probably many ways. If someone is, let's see. Yeah, most of them were just lost. Hey, good morning, Guardian Engraving. Yeah, pretty much. They don't see anyone else panicking, so they don't panic. That's, you know. But like most of the people in power don't have military experience. They did not serve the empire, but they reap the benefits of ruling the empire. That's why this whole arrangement cannot stand anymore. The House cannot stand anymore. Like this is kind of an elites versus everybody else thing, and it's going to become exacerbated as AI. Like AI is just burning through jobs right now. Yeah. In fact, I'm curious about that. Okay.
Unknown caller.
The same motherfucker calls every fucking time at exactly the fucking time I'm on a fucking live stream. Every fucking time. Sorry, I'm just telling you how I really feel. Let's see the comments on that one. I know. Well, at least it's captured, right? Yep, exactly. Peaceful observer. Just make sure you have food. Okay, Adam Curtis in Hypernormalization, Daco quotes Vladislav Surkov. The underlying aim was not to win the war, but to use conflict to create a constant state of destabilized perception. Order to something. Well, that's good. Oh, wow. Philip, your grandfather was at the Battle of the Bulge. He thought war was stupid and wasteful. Apparently, it was difficult to sleep under a sky full of German bombers. I can imagine. Yeah, manage and control. Yeah, I had to get that out a little bit. Good morning, Solite USS Expat. All right, let me just. I have this thing. I had this thing. Here we go. All right. What is that? Oh, maybe I do have it. All right, so I'm going to share this in a second if I can find the. All right. All right, here's what ChatGPT is saying. The current year-to-date job loss from AI is. So we're roughly at 28,000, call it, and it kind of accelerated in March. I would expect this to. It's according to Challenger Gray. So I would imagine, and these are just job cuts that are where AI was explicitly cited. But notice it's starting to. I mean, the first, kind of went down in the second month, but then it went, 3x in March of February. So I think it's starting to take off. Let's see. Call him again. No, I'm not. It's just like completely oblivious. All right, I don't know. Okay, so Nick Putnam is saying, I don't know if this has been said yet, but Carolyn Levitt said there will be shots fired a few hours before the dinner started. Oh boy. He or she is trying to provoke a reaction from, gives them a dopamine kind of like, no, they don't trust me. I know the person. They're not even aware that I'm doing a live stream right now. Even though every fucking time I tell them, don't call Saturday nights between this time. It's the same person every time. Okay, so Soleil US expert said, I just saw Trump says shooter apprehended after president rushed from. Yep. Who knows? Oh, one is dead, one is alive. Hey, Jalal, good to see you. He's gonna love what? Oh my God. I almost said your name. Oh my Lord. Michael Hunt. Thank you, Michael Hunt. What is he going to love? What's Kurt gonna love? Michael Hunt. But nice try. I respect the game. But I'm not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Kurt Metzger is my actual biological father. Overlander BC I get calls from certain companies and ask them to take my number off the list. Now I just see how long I can make them talk before hanging up. I even say I'm making your commission go to zero. Yep. Yep. 5-claw chess. Oh my Lord. A few things. We'll continue talking about the correspondence today. There's a live stream I can pull up and see how that's going. But a few, just in the kind of paranormal, esoteric community. I don't know what to call it. But I had a call with Pete Carroll on April 17th just to test to make sure that Riverside worked. And I was supposed to interview him on May 4th. He died on April 22nd. So the founder of Chaos Magic, I talked to him about 5 days before he died. When I talked to him, he seemed totally fine. Everything was great. He was about to release a book. We were going to do an interview on that as well. And I kind of just learned today that he died on April 22nd, last week. So 3 days ago. I also, and I've already reported this, but Dr. Thigpen, also, who I interviewed in the channel, and I really liked both of these guys. Paul Thigpen also had died in February. We also know about Ed Dames, remote viewer Ed Dames. I actually recorded a memorial episode today with both David Morehouse and Lynn Buchanan. So I have like, I'm trying to think how many. I have 12 episodes that I've recorded like in the last week. And I'm trying to dig out from under them. I'm trying to get 8 done this weekend. So they're going to be in like really weird orders because some are more. I also recorded a interview with Frank Milburn about Amy Estridge. So, I might have to pull that one forward. I have 2 more interviews with Ed Reardon, 2 interviews with Laird Barron about all his experiences, like a really, really strange stuff. 2 interviews with Dr. Heather Lynn from the History Channel. And then I have 2 really great interviews with Hakeem Isler from the Psy Games, but we talk about it so much more. We talk about like how psyops are constructed because he used to work as a psyop or a soldier in psyop, and ninjutsu, like where that came from. And then we talk about the Psy Games. We talk about his life. Like those are 2 really good interviews too. There are lots of great stuff for May, and then I'm bubbling over into June already. And I can't process the episodes fast enough. So you'll see about 8 things pop up next week, but that doesn't mean they're going to happen when I have them originally scheduled. So anyway, okay. So Philip Blair said somebody tried that phone game with John Carricow on a live podcast. A few people did. He tracked one of them down. So he called him at home to let him know, Yeah, I'm not gonna. Okay, the trades are very low paying in my area and don't pay the bills anymore. Open board, yeah, basically. Apparently, okay. Yeah, 73 is way too young. Yeah, we do have the numbers. Yeah. Yep. And also David Wilcock and his co-author died a week apart. Yeah, there's a lot. Like that's 4 people from kind of the broader paranormal community. It's kind of weird. Yeah, Heather Lynn is awesome. I got along with her pretty well. And I basically asked her afterwards questions. We were talking about her family. And I'm like, we have basically concluded, I think it's a very high probability that your grandfather was probably a paper clipper, as in like brought over from paperclip. I'm like, you gotta find out. Like that's something you gotta find out. Because she didn't know a lot of information about him. Yeah, he was awesome. I really liked him. He was a really, really good human being. Guy, a mass market consumer. Yeah, fair. Okay, so Exnubis is saying, yeah, Heather Lynn is great. Really bridges the gap between the paranormal and religious studies. Yep. With AI and robotics, I don't understand why the ruling class still works so hard to create. Well, because they're not going to need us. I suspect that Wilcock had a psychological attack through Wi-Fi or something similar to put him on. Well, or you owe the IRS $1 million, right? I think that's enough stress for, you know. No, I didn't. In fact, I got so much like stuff I have to get through. I would love to read a lot, like some Tracy Twyman stuff, because Kurt always talks about her, and it sounds pretty interesting. Interesting stuff. I just can't wade through all the. I just don't have enough hours in the day, so I'm trying to take like a vacation next week, and like that's why I'm trying to like get all of May's episodes done. I intended to get them done today, but I have like 5 done, so I got to get 3 more done before Monday. Yeah, I think he owed $1 million to the IRS, so something like crazy. Yeah, agree. All right, let's get to the next thing. Let's see what's actually going on at the correspondence dinner.
This records conversations.
Oh, we have to watch this asshole.
Ever could. This is Pocket, an AI note taker that records.
Oh, it's not even starting yet? Oh, I guess. It looks like it hasn't even started. That's it? That was 10 p.m., so that was... Okay. It was...
But you have done a fantastic job, please.
All right, let's see what he has to say. Let's just go back. There we go. Let's find out how this how cooked this shit show is.
That was very unexpected, but incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement. And this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press. And in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way, very beautiful, a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now, put out on Truth and put out on many of the platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's great shape. He has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have
There we go.
all of the
ballroom
attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's a much
See,
more
everything with this guy is self-serving.
drone-proof. It's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different, because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the DC police. And we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint.
Chocolate is, but
They
not
also
sugar.
performed exactly as they were supposed to. And you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, all know that story. And in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I ask that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people.
Yeah.
And there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But First Lady and I were taken very well care of, very quickly rushed off the stage. Vice President.
The sad thing is, there's so many people who hate him now. You would never know. You couldn't tell if there was left, right, foreign government. There's so many potential suspects. It could literally be anybody.
Had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive.
Yeah, I think chocolate's good for
I'd
you,
like to
but
ask Todd
sugar's
Blanche
not.
to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person. And we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job. It was such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say I've been seeing what's been out. You've been very responsible. So Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words, and then we're going to have cash. And then you're going to go on. We can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to say tonight, I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol. They said, please, sir, because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know, could there be probably a lone shooter, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much. And Todd Blanche, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that.
Oh, this is the guy who won't do his job. This is the guy who was like not going to do anything with Epstein. Shining example of pure filth right here. This is the face of filth.
Shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident given the conduct. But as
Share
you'll
your
hear,
sentiments.
there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will lead the details.
Yeah, look, this
of
is just
what they have learned to him.
so like
But
U.S.
in the
expat is
meantime,
saying
I
the
just wanna
global
thank,
economy goes into a
thank
depression.
everybody in
I guess
this
these
room
events are going to take
for
place.
courage.
Yeah, they'll just get worse.
And I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you. Dr. Patel.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and you know,
Look,
they know. That you
look
have
at
their
this
back.
ass kisser.
And that is
Just,
a change in dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw
I mean,
brave
look at
Secret
this
Service
guy.
agents respond immediately.
His tongue is so
Subdue
far
and
up
take
Trump's
down the
ass.
suspect and
It's coming out of
safeguard the
Trump's
lives of
mouth.
thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty because we have leadership here with the president, the vice president that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started, and we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf.
Yeah, this cabinet is
or anyone else that
probably.
was responsible. We
And
will
Biden's
analyze
cabinet was
all evidence
particularly
immediately
bad. Like this
to make
cabinet's
sure that we
worse.
safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership. Attorney General, Homeland Secretary Merlin, thank you for your partnership in law enforcement.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a couple and then we go to the chief.
Yeah, it's definitely kayfabe,
Madam
Tim.
Chairman, I just want to say you did a fantastic job. What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule. Okay. And after that, it's
Oh, yeah.
tough for her to ask a killer question, right?
Yeah, after this, we have to talk about this SPLC funding thing. You can't make this stuff up.
Happened so quickly, and I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats. In that moment, when you realized there was a threat, and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
It's just watching them kiss ass is just so
shocking when something like this
disgusting.
happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact we were sitting right next to each other, First Lady on my right, and I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was pretty loud noise, and it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area at all. They really got him, but so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly. Other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew.
This fake assassination attempt is low energy,
Bad noise.
very low.
And,
It's so low, the lowest in history.
we were whisked away along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police all of the law enforcement.
Like anyone else not feel
It
shocked?
was very quick.
Like I feel like I should feel shocked that somebody tried to again assassinate an American president. But I can't muster any emotion at
very
all.
much, and you wanted to.
Like
you
no
very much
empathy,
wanted to
no
continue.
sympathy.
So
Like
don't like to let
I
these
kind of
same
feel
people
a little bit
decide these
disturbed that
horrible,
like I should feel
change the
more of that, but I
fabric of our
don't.
lives,
There's like
change
no
the course
feeling
of
there.
what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand it was protocol. But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able. And I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said what. So I'll have to stave it. I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump.
Look, I hope everybody's
There's reports
safe,
in
but
the
I
New York
just don't
Post
feel any
that this
empathy.
Assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel.
Didn't I
What do
tell
think
you?
about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people.
I'm always going to play intro music. Just join 10 minutes later. The first 10 minutes is always intro. That's how I build the audience.
But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a success.
The press said it was the third attempt, but it might be the fourth because there was some woman apparently that tried to drive into his motorcade.
Names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that.
Does he actually believe his own bullshit?
After Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No.
indoor?
Well, but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to. It is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. You know, he charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what do you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving, and the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn. Literally, by the time he was there, they were shooting. That's right. They were. I thought they were very impressive.
Yeah, I'm with you, Roger. I agree with you,
If I
actually.
didn't, I'd let you know. You know, I'm not going to be. I would not stand for that.
All right,
No, I think
Maggie.
they're very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on the
Thank you.
suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Were your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy. And
Or they're angry.
It's very far away from me. I had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting maybe at your table. Who knows? But we had people all over the room. So he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, we've had no. There was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead, Ken.
Any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. He's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over, Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California.
Oh, boy.
They're over there.
So like U.S. expat, I heard that goods shortages are going to start kicking in next week. There's the sub that I buy from the mail. It costs $70. Okay, came in to find. Yeah,
No, I mean,
it's going to hit Korea first though, before the
guy
U.S.
who looked pretty evil when he was down. They had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think
A warrior would do that. They would continue to fight until their mission's complete. But you don't understand anything about warriors because you're not one.
About him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I
Oh,
feel
yeah, he makes everyone wear shoes that he sets the size, and they're all too big. They're like clown shoes.
Take minutes to be escorted out the room.
no, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one And Mark, when you would agree with that, I think. I'm the one that.
I would far prefer
You don't have to
Vance
complain.
over this
I wouldn't be
incompetent
complaining. I'd be up here right
moron.
now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because it's my life, and I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of.
Yeah, when you're impactful of weakening the country by getting the Strait of Hormuz closed when it was open before you started bombing. Yeah, that's why. That's how impactful you are. You're
Don't
impactful.
think so. You
The
never know. We're gonna know
the
a lot.
worst
We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot.
unforced strategic error in American history was committed by Trump.
As well as some of us who have covered Butler experienced another horrific day 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What felt similar? You had the first lady with you today. What felt different? And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening?
Well, I
again?
can't be concerned. I can only get great people. They did the job, in my opinion, a much better job than Butler. Butler had one weak spot that we all know about. Somebody should have been up there. But even Butler, we had our sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds from a distance of about 400 yards.
Yeah, it might be.
One shot.
Who knows?
And he was gone. And if he didn't do it now, he's David. His name was David.
Yeah, he does need extra room
Say
for the
hello,
bone
David,
spurs.
every time I see him, David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice, nobody knew. He heard a sound. He looked over, and there was actually a tree that was somewhat in his way. You know the story very well. And he aimed, he fired. And if he didn't do that, beyond me, you would have had a lot more people killed. We lost one great person and 2 people very badly hurt. They're okay now. But no, that was so in a sense, it was pretty amazing the job they did. But they did have that one weak spot. As you know, they should have had that covered.
Yeah.
Tonight they had.
Yeah, that was a huge strategic. I mean, it's not an error for Netanyahu because it's good for Netanyahu, but it was for us. It was the worst
Very far away. He was
forced
he hadn't
strategic
anywhere
error in
close to
American
breach
history.
The doors of the ballroom. The
Worst.
ballroom was sealed, and everybody in there. That's why once those doors opened, they didn't want to do tonight. If the doors weren't opened, we could have probably done it tonight. But I think we're much better off rescheduling. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, for you and perhaps law enforcement as well, what is the level of confidence that this was a lone actor? And has the suspect made any statements to police while in custody?
Yeah, I think it's just that's not my profession. We have great professionals up here and outside that have been working with us. My impression is he was a lone wolf, whack job. These are crazy people. And they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know.
Yeah, probably.
He's spending life in prison. Because if you let him out, they'll probably, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else. They're sick people. We have a lot of sick people. But you're going to know, I think very shortly.
You're right. It's all going to disappear in 24 hours.
A lot about him. You're going to know a lot about him. Yeah, a couple of more. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Are you concerned about political violence? This could be politically
All
motivated.
violence. I'm concerned about everything. Look, but I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. I tell the story. Race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So if you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same 10% of 1%, much less than 1%. But if you take presidents, it's 5.8%. And about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I wouldn't have run. Maybe I would have said, I'll take a pass.
Because he's getting attention.
Dangerous profession.
He loves attention. He's
But
an
I don't
attention
feel that
whore.
way. Look, I'm here to do a job. It's part of the job. It is a dangerous. I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous.
Yeah, so like US
But I
expat.
love
Yeah,
the
that's
country,
right.
and I'm very proud. I'm very
And
proud of the
General
job we've done. You see what's happening.
Kane
Great
said,
country.
"We're not doing this tonight,
It's
Mr.
the most
President."
successful, the hottest country anywhere in the world. This happened over a period of just a year, and we're going to do great things. But with that come risks. There's no question about it. Yeah.
To that end, I mean, there's been so much political violence, not just aimed at yourself, but at other members.
I mean, this is peak
members of
narcissism on
Congress,
steroids.
State House speakers, you name it. Is that just the cost of doing business to
Yeah,
do politics in America anymore?
Yeah, well,
What does
and
that say about our
and
country?
elsewhere too. Yeah, we're not the only country. You look at this great violence with all countries. I was talking to somebody from another country today, and they have numerous assassinations of political figures all over the world. You look at South America. In South America, it's like some of the numbers are just horrific. It's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff. Whether it's here or someplace else, no country is immune. No country. Good question.
No, I have not checked out
At this point,
reverse
Well,
feature analysis by David
probably
Oates, but I
I
should.
decided to just not do much. You know, let everybody rip us off and take advantage of us. Look, we're leading the world in trade now. We're
No, they
leading the
don't.
world in the military. We're
Because
great
Trump has
in
literally
the
done
world.
the
And you
opposite
talk
of what he
about
promised
first
the voters.
and now we
Like
use it.
everything, he's done the
We have
opposite.
no choice. We can't let, as an example, Iran. We can't let them get a nuclear weapon. Everything will be peanuts compared to that if they ever were given a nuclear weapon, and they'd use it too. Marco and I were talking about it today. They would use it without even hesitation. We can't do that. It was a shame. I said, "Oh boy, look at the numbers. We just broke 50,000 in the Dow. We just broke 7,000 in the S&P." They said we couldn't do it in 7 years, in 5 years, 4 years. They were saying maybe in 5 or 6 years, and we did it in 1 year. And I called everybody together. I called all of these people and others, and I said, we have to take a little journey. I say to do this. We just had the great number. We just
That's
broke
because if they ask him a
50,000.
hard question,
Wasn't
he
supposed to
kicks him
happen
out.
during my term. Wasn't reachable. Did it in 1 year, and I said, we're going to have to make a journey to Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon if we don't do it. We had the B-2 bombers take them out. I terminated in the first term the Obama agreement, the Iran nuclear agreement, which was a disaster. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have used it. They would have used it 100%. So, you know, when you do things like that, you become a target. If I wasn't doing that, I guess I'd be a lot less of a target. But I'm honored to be. Okay, one more question. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. Do you know how the gun was brought into the hotel? And also, how does this event impact you as the leader of our country? Do you think it will change your
I
leadership?
like not to think about it. I lead a pretty normal life, considering it's a dangerous life. I think I handle it as well as it can be handled. I think a lot of other people, you read stories where they become basket cases. To be honest with you, I'm not a basket case. I really take it as it is. I do it for the country. I'm not doing it for any other reason. I have a first lady who's doing a terrific job. She loves the country, and she recognizes it better than anybody. She's told me
That's
many
fair.
times, it's
The only really good thing to come out
doing
of
a
Trump.
dangerous job.
There's no tax
But
on
that
tips.
goes along with her too. I mean, it's dangerous for her too. We sat there tonight. We heard that noise, and
Yep.
it was either
You're
a
right,
tray or a bullet.
Philip.
I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't. And again,
Yeah, of course they're
we had
extremely
some
low.
very brave people doing a great job, so we're very proud of them and happy with them. I just want to thank everybody. They will be able to give you all that information as to the names and everything else. I think we released the names already. Most of you would have it, but his name. We appreciate it. I see so many tuxedos and beautiful dresses.
I
It's a
believe
little
that
different
story.
evening
I
than we thought,
absolutely
but
believe
we're
that
gonna do it
story.
again, and we have a
And the
great
reason I
chairman
believe it is
who
because he
we're
was
so
stupid
proud of,
enough to
and
start the
we
Iran
have to
war to
make it
begin with.
better. We'll make it safer, I guess, right? But we're going to make it even better. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
About how impactful this was. Can we hear from her about?
They're all eventually going to get canned. Like Trump has no loyalty to his people. Ever.
Right.
Millions of people across the globe, in fact, are watching you. You demonstrated courageous leadership, and thank God you're alive. All of us are alive today. What is the message that you want to give to the world?
Listen to this
to
sycophant.
change? What corrective measures can we take from here on?
Well, all you can do, look, I don't care how many people you have, how good they are. They can be the greatest people. You have the greatest security in history. If you have a whack job who's got a brain, but it's a little bit distorted or a lot distorted, they can make trouble. I would say, Pete, right? You know, they can make trouble. Some of these people are of genius level IQ, and they're nuts. So it can be trouble. So you do absolutely the best. You get the best. We have the best people. Well, look, it was proven tonight. He started running from 50 yards, and he was fast. He was like a blur on tape. He was moving. It was very impressive the way they got him, because a lot of people would be looking and saying, you know, it's like a weird feeling, and they would let him get through, but they didn't let him get through.
You would be
they
great
threw
as a
those
wedding
guys so
planner.
fast. They looked like Matt Dillon. They looked like somebody that knew what they were doing, and we really do. But it comes with the territory. And if you want to do a great job, I really believe that. And you take a look at what's happened to some of our greatest presidents, and it doesn't happen to people that don't do anything. And it's not going to deter me from winning the war in Iran. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I really don't think so, based on what we know. But we're going to continue to do a great job. That's all I can do. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, I guess that's it. The heck? Yep. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Nope. Let's leave that up. All right. Oh my God. Let me just check this. Oh yeah, I saw he like collapsed on the table last week. Yeah, I've lost all faith in government. I think they're just a bunch of a bunch of parasites just feeding on the population. Oh, did you hear the Palantir guy? The skinny little fuck who never carried a rifle or never served in the military in his life wants to draft your children. Like, you just can't make this stuff up. No. Does anybody know his name? Oh, no. I didn't ask him specifically, but I asked him about all the recent geopolitical stuff that he saw, and he didn't mention Korea at all. Oh, I would have thought that, you know, and it appeared to be that way for the first like month or two, and then it just completely, yeah, I'm not going to say his name, but yeah, that's the fucking piece of shit who said that. I don't think these people realize, like, I mean, Kerp does an amazing impression of Carp. Yeah, I think living in like the boonies and the forests and getting the hell away from this like super corrupt civilization is probably a good call. Oh my God. So Roger Claiborne says, I have a brother in prison in Tennessee, and they are giving them experimental meat and nutritionless slop as if they're trying to kill them. Good Lord. It's not good. Not good at all. Let me see if there's any other news. Well, yeah, I agree, but that's not going to happen. All right. Let me see if we got anything new. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if there's any names or anything. Yeah, I'm not seeing much. Um, don't see anything. I think that's about the only data that we're going to get at this point. All right. Yeah, I'll probably have him on. I'll probably have Giorgiani back on down the line. Okay, North Korea has been on a roll lately with the crypto hacks. Oh my God. They based $1 billion just this month. Okay. Okay, due to this today, I think about your interview with Lynn Buchanan. I swear in a dream I saw wherever he went with the black grass and the sun. It's like a sepia camera filter. Yeah, that's still to this day is a crazy. And by the way, I'm not the first person he told. It's actually in a book by Jim Mars that was released in like the late 90s. Like this exact same story is there in that book. And I had it on my shelf like for years. So, the gal Amy who allegedly committed suicide, which I don't think she did and was taken out, said she made a breakthrough. Anybody know what that? It was. Well, I mean, she is working on anti-gravity, basically. So, but yeah, I talked to Frank, interviewed Frank this morning. I want to try to get that one out sooner, but I have 8 episodes to edit before that. So, we'll see. And then I have this like live stream to do and all that stuff. It's been a super productive, but also busy week. Okay, so I know Jay has been losing it over Iran stuff. I think he was waiting to see what's going to happen before getting back on the podcast circuit. Who's JR? Oh, Giorgiani. Yeah, he was like pro the Iran thing. I was consistently not because I knew exactly what it would look like, and I wasn't surprised. You got to get the population involved. You got to get them like to buy your war. If you ignore that entirely, like you're going to start at instant opposition. Oh man. Yeah, probably. Yeah, she's got a lot of YouTube videos actually. Hope. Oh, you're on SSRIs? Yikes. I'm hoping Jimmy Dore will finally get that show on Rumble to rival Bill Maher show in a studio. I didn't know he had something like that. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know much about SSRIs. I just know stay the hell away from them. That's all I know. And even like getting off them, I think once you're on them is maybe. I'm not going to touch it because YouTube will punish me for. I don't know anything about SSRIs, so I don't want to speculate. Okay, so Select US Expert is saying people are going to start even being more against the war when we go into a global depression, praying that we won't. Well, hopefully the ceasefire continues. I know. He was probably that stupid. Yeah, he is that dumb. So CJ Cobra Commander says, I think Trump thought Iran citizens would mass rebel, take the country back. But yeah, that never happens. That never happens. What? One YouTuber said Rangers are warning campers that they can be kidnapped. What? Yeah, I didn't like his neocon Iran takes either, but you know, it is what it is. I tried not to get involved because I didn't want to, I didn't want to get into it with him or anything like that. It's just not worth it. I think he's a good dude, and I don't want to argue about that. Yeah, they got to stop this blockade nonsense too. Like it's definitely not helping matters at all. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Anything else people want to talk about? I'm failing pretty quickly or flailing right now because like I said, I have like a ton of stuff I'm trying to get through. And helium passes through the Strait of Hormuz, which is used. Oh yeah. There's like AI it's needed for chips. You need it for chip production, and a huge percentage of it flows through the Strait of Hormuz. So Maggie Smith is saying, I'm a retired psych nurse. Never go on SSRIs. I put my daughter on them when she was in grade school. Big regret. All right, so Philip Blair is saying Giorgiani has been bombarded with propaganda about Iran since childhood when a teacher warned him that another teacher was CIA. Hey, Joanne, thank you. So thank you and everyone for showing up. I look forward to hearing what everyone has to say. I suspect the blockade is the strategic geopolitical plan. They seem to want food and energy crisis. Probably. Hey, David Todd, thank you for being a new member. Welcome. Oof. Okay, SSRIs have a utility, but I'm not confident in them long term. I have trouble. I'm suspicious of all pharmaceuticals, to be honest. Oops. So this says, Jamal says, my therapist was going to recommend SSRIs for me. My pharmacist dad told me to never take them. Scared me off of it. Pharmacists know the truth. Yep. But it's clear now food, new harvest will be high priced this year. I've watched auctions about fertilizers. Yeah, because there's a delay in fertilizers getting to market because of the strait. Not great. Not great at all. Oh my goodness. What else do folks want to? Oh, here I heard this like secondhand, so take it with a grain of salt. But apparently, there has not been a rap song as the Billboard #1 song since the day that we shut off funding at USAID. What does that mean? Okay, so Jake Markson, doctors' jobs are to bill our insurance and get you to take things you shouldn't to meet a quota. Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but the incentive structure is all messed up. Like, that's clear. Oh, they really chemical lobotomies? Yikes. I mean, it's like, okay, formulated, so you have to take them long term. Yeah, I think there's like, again, we shouldn't speculate on the health thing. I've heard, I don't know if it's true, that they're hard to get off of once you're on. Okay, so Philip Blair saying, yes, SSRIs were only approved for short-term use in adults with cognitive behavioral therapy, but some were marketed to minors for long-term use with no cognitive behavioral therapy, myself included. Yikes. Hip-hop is a psyop. It might be. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not saying it's causation. Correlation does not imply causation, but if true, it's correlation. I know we just talked about it. I can tell the alien guy just joined. CJ the alien guy just joined. Yeah, we spent like the first half talking, like playing the video, like when the shots happened, and then we played Trump's statement and all that stuff. But today's music is weapon, according to Michael Yan. Yeah, probably. Does that mean WAP was? I don't know what WAP is. Yeah, we know. We know. I mean, like, I spent a lot of time talking about this. You know, I don't want anybody to die or anything like that, but I don't feel any empathy or sympathy at all. The guy came in and did the exact opposite of what he promised to do. So, you know, I hope he's safe. I hope his family's safe, but I like it. It's impossible for me to muster any sympathy or empathy. Yeah, no, you don't need to apologize. I'm glad you're here. I mean, thank you for being here. There's no need to apologize. I mean, in fact, thank you for bringing it up again, because I like talking about it, but I don't want to bore anybody. So yeah, no need for apologies at all. Thank you for being here. All right, so Mark Pleka is writing, many videos popped out with software engineers seeking job and said 10 apply for one position. All companies, he said, completely don't care about security. Many wants AI right away. Yeah, it's too fast. They're adopting this stuff too fast. No worries. I mean, that's why you're here, to hear me talk about it, and that's exactly what I did. So and we played a few videos to see what the heck was going on. This might actually be the fourth time, because there's another time where this woman tried to ram his motorcade too. That would be the fourth, but okay. So Philip Blair's like, that's true. The experience of SSRIs is like being a ghost in a body, or like a waking coma. Sometimes dream are more real than being awake, with how SSRIs monkey with our brains. Yikes. Oof. Yeah, I've heard that too, that some of the school, events are people who have been on or, you know, were using SSR or had gotten off of SSRIs. Yeah, they'll probably make him pro-Palestine or something. Salia's expat says there's a clairvoyant from Poland that I watched. He put up a photo of, I think, Baron Trump, and he was getting that Baron Trump drinks raw blood. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, you could make the argument that all music is psyop, certain keys, progressions, beats, etc. Yeah, maybe. Ooh. Sorry, it's just been a busy week. What else we got going on? He was a NASA intern? What the heck? 9 pounds. 9 pounds so far. Still grinding through. I mean, I'm still going to be a walrus by the time I get to Julian Dory, but it'll be less of a walrus. All right. David Todd is right. I'm convinced Trump absolutely knew in advance he would not serve as president 2020 to 2024. The Israeli billionaires are running the show. They wanted him back for Iran, Venezuela. That took planning. Maybe. I mean, crazier things have happened. I mean, I don't trust anything any institution tells me anymore. Like, they've completely squandered all trust. Oof. Yeah, I don't think this topic was not as exciting as others. Let's see. Okay, we got that one. So Roger Claiborne is saying SSRI lowers some people's inhibitions, I noticed, and they are more like to say and do stuff normally wouldn't. Yeah, maybe. All right, it's time for water fast for you then dry fast before, and those are better. Those would be too intense. Oh, yeah, doing no water is not good. That's not safe. Oh yeah, thank you for bringing that up. You folks hear about this shit? So the Southern Poverty Law Center funded the KKK, like the American Nazi Party, the like Charlottesville. They funded like these far right groups to the tune of like $3 million, and they've just been exposed. They're literally funding far right extremist groups so they could reach around with the other hand and say, see, there's a threat. That's why they have all these non-existent threats about like white domestic terrorism that we all knew was bullshit, but they were just making it up. And then they were funding the opposition. Like, people should go to prison because people died as a result of like the funding that they said. Now, their defense apparently is, oh, these were confidential informants in these organizations. What the fuck? You're a nonprofit. Why do you have confidential informants? Isn't that like the FBI's job? This is not like a spy operation. The Southern Poverty Law Center should just be fucking nuked. Like, they've done more to generate anti-white hatred in this country than any other group, except maybe the ADL. That might be another one. But anyway. It won't let you, Jake? That's weird. Maybe YouTube is choking me off. I don't even know what SNRIs are. I have no idea. Oh, it did work. Thank you, brother. I don't know. Hi, David. Okay, so David Todd said, I think Sheldon and Miriam walked in his door early in his first term. They said, we hate MAGA, and so much of what has happened is designed to, yeah, maybe. Huh. I'm just saying it's dangerous. Giorgiani's old publisher was indirectly linked to the SBI. I'm not surprised. No, we won't be hearing about them because it's foreboding to talk about them negatively. I'm thinking the entire thing is a fabrication. Like the entire, all our institutions, there's probably some layer above and beyond them that we don't see. I think the entire thing's a fabrication. That's where I am right now. Huh. Yeah, exactly. It's just to keep us as slaves in the treadmill. That's the whole point of everything. Oh, serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Oh, they were awesome. I got 2 interviews with her. She was awesome. She's great because she keeps talking. It's fantastic. Actos. I don't know what that is. Yeah, everything's bullshit. Okay, so Philip Blair saying SPLC and ADL are good places to get book recommendations. Search for Max Blumenthal and Norman Finkelstein. See what other authors show up along. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. The books that they want to ban are probably the books you want to buy. Norman Finkelstein, he sounds like a real mensch. He sounds like a really good dude. And then same thing with Max Blumenthal. Okay. All right, what else? What else do we want to talk about? Again, I don't know anything about SSRIs. It's pure speculation. Do what your doctor's instructed. I'm saying this so that this doesn't get. I've lost a live stream before because there was like medical disinformation. I don't know anything about SSRIs. Talk to your doctors. They know. Well, I'm not gonna go that far, but okay. So Solite US Expat is saying, after your interview in New Jersey, maybe you'll hit close to twice the subscriber count that you have. I don't think it's going to be like that. I mean, I think it'll accelerate for like a day. I'll maybe get like 100. I don't know. I'm trying to set my expectations low, right? I'll be surprised if it's 1,000 subscriber month, but you never know. You never know. Okay. I think Michael Aquino's interesting. I know Kerp thinks he's the devil, but I thought he was a pretty interesting guy. But I don't think he was into like that whole child stuff. I don't think that. I don't think. I hope I'm wrong, Jamal, but I don't think Trump's ever going to disclose anything. And if it does, it'll be bullshit. Oh, you mean Building 7? When Kurt was interviewed? I can't give you the right number for the entire channel, but I can give you for that specific video. Give me a second. That specific video generated 822 subscribers, which is good for one video. Okay. Okay. Hey, thank you, David. Yeah, when I saw earlier, I appreciate, but again, I appreciate that. Yeah, I shouldn't say this, but I haven't been to a doctor in 20 years. I don't trust them. Yeah, and that one was, there's a lot of controversy around that one. All right, new info, Psychic Sean. He had gun in closet pre-plant. I told you. How honestly, I didn't guess that. I just thought rationally. How do you get around metal detectors? Well, you put the stuff in the room before the medical detectors are there, and then you recover it. And again, I spent 5 years in the Army as Op 4, like opposing forces. So I just naturally think that way. Oh, yeah, I think that, yeah. I think that's true. The BBC announced the collapse of Building 7 30 minutes before it collapsed. I think they're interdimensional entities. I think the answer is neither. I think in the distant past they were called angels and demons, and in the current time they're called aliens. Yeah. That was Lucky Larry Silverstein, right? Yeah, they just have different incentives. They're just like, it's like we're trying to get people through. And then people like often pick up infections from hospitals when they go there. Look, don't do what I'm doing. What I'm doing is like the wrong answer, but there was one time where I had like a sinus infection that it wouldn't go away. And I knew the answer was I just needed some antibiotics. And I called and they're like, just wait, don't come in. I'm like, I just need ampicillin. That's all I need. It'll clear it up. It has before. And they just didn't. So I just suffered through it. And I'm just, so you know what? Fuck these people. I'm not even gonna, like, when the one time in 20 years I need their help and they can't help me, or they won't, it's not can't, they won't help me. It's just like, fuck you. I don't need you. Unless it's like a critical emergency. Okay, so what's Genesis? So I guess some AI. So I asked Genesis how many subs you will get based on the number of subscribers you got from the Kurt interview and the subs that the guy in New York has, which I think is 1.24 million. I called it. All right. So if we apply the same 2.1% conversion rate to a channel with okay, that would be fruitful. That would more than double the current channel. That would be good. I hope I end up with 100,000 subs by the time I get through that. Oh, I'm also going to be on Camp Gagnon too in June. So Mark Gagnon's show. I don't know if you're all familiar with. So Mark Gagnon is also works on the Flagrant podcast with Andrew Schultz. Again, this is all coming from Kurt. This is all Kurt. Kurt is literally single-handedly texting people and recommending me. I didn't ask him to do it. Like, he is, if there's one of the greatest things about Kurt is, like, if he likes you, he goes out of his way, and I don't even think he realizes he's going out of his way to help you. Unasked. I didn't ask him for any of this, and he just does good. Like, he is a good, solid human being. Oh, Gemini. All right, I want to stop reading the comments about healthcare, just because I'm worried that the algorithm will try to do something. Yeah, well, yeah, that's what it sounds like. It was extensive. It was brought down purposely. Yeah, I know. Lucky Larry. So 31-year-old, he's a school teacher from California. Oh man. Oh, can't give his name. YouTube blocked it. Wow. Did they really? Unfucking real. Like, we can't know the guy's name? What the fuck? I mean, like, the censorship, or what? We're going to get the guy's name and get inspired? Like, it's just... I mean, the official reason that YouTube would give you is I'm not like in one silo on phenomenology. I cover everything. And I think they would say it's hard for the algorithm to do that. On the other hand, I think I'm closer on some of these topics than many others are, and I am algorithmically suppressed in some way. Right? It could be that. I'm not saying it is. I'm not being a victim. I just try harder. Yes, Kerp is the contagion. Yeah. He's a mensch. He's a good dude. Saint Whiteclaw. I need to do like a Whiteclaw summit. I just have to. I need time to like get away from like being in the work to think through how I would propose that. But if I asked him to do it, he would do it. I just have to do it on a date and time that he can actually do it. Yeah, Kerp is awesome. I appreciate that, Jamal. I really do. Thank you. Oh, and Building 3? Yeah, Kerp is the real deal. Huh. Yeah, he does. He's a good dude. Wait, what? I don't know what guy. What? Now the comments are confusing me. It's out of control. It's messed up. I don't know what's going on. Oh my God. Maggie Smith says, I was misdiagnosed with a bladder infection when I had food poisoning. They sent a contaminated specimen. They called me later. Said, let me guess, E. coli. I reported them to infection control. Cole Thomas Allen. Yeah, the blood ground. I'm surprised YouTube didn't like suppress the Danny Jones episode. Yeah, I think Danny Jones, if it does come, it'll come after Julian Dory because those guys they talk. And actually, Kirk was going to make an introduction to Danny Jones for me too, but I've already corresponded with him. No need. I probably should have just let him do it because then Danny probably would have had me on, or not. I don't know. But I honestly, when he introduced me to Julian Dory, I just thought it was just like, hey, this guy knows about this stuff. So Julian, if you have questions, just reach out to him. And then I talked to him. He's just like, yeah, I think we get you on the. I'm like, what? Oh, you want to talk to me? What? So we'll see how that goes. Oops, I just skipped one. Bring up Project Camilio as a military guy. Have you any thoughts? It seems like too on the nose. That seems like a camouflage experiment or something like that. But that's too on the nose. What is Project Camilio? I don't know anything about it. Yeah, or I will screw it up so badly, I will embarrass myself, and then I mean, I don't think that'll happen, but we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. Three named Patsies. All right, what do we want to cover in the next 6 minutes? Because I got to get back to work. I got lots of videos to do. No, I don't think he's talking about Gladio. Gladio is the military intelligence operation working with the former Nazis to develop an intelligence network, either in Europe or in Italy. I know people have a normalcy bias. I wonder how long it will take for your interview to go up on. I think they're not as slow as me. I don't think they do as much edit, or maybe they do. I don't know, or they have someone to do editing quickly. It's probably pretty quick. Yep. There's also another guy in a white shirt who's pinned by the Secret Service, which is probably our guy. All right. Oh, here we go. Cole, oh, yeah. Somebody already said Cole Thomas Allen. All right. Now we got to look at what's the deadline of May 1st? Yeah, we talked about David Wilcox a little bit. Oh, Jamal, I have a whole playlist of Peter Levenda. He's been on a live stream with when I was talking to Pavel said I've never seen somebody with more interviews of Peter Levenda than you. Yeah, I have a whole playlist. I maybe have, I don't know, five or six interviews with Peter Levenda, something like that, or episodes. Oh wow. Yeah, Google search is kind of useless now. Yeah, no worries. You can catch up later and see it. Oh, and to the Onion. I think he'll just start another show and then do the same thing. Regrow his audience. Where did the road go? Podcast at 2-point interview. Who wrote the book on Camilio? Huh. He is. He's super, super interesting. And he's one of the best researchers I've ever seen. Yeah, I literally just look it up. Just go to my playlists, and there's a whole playlist, and you're going to have to just check the dates and start with the first one. But yeah, I have a ton of. In fact, let me just, instead of just saying there's a playlist, let me find it. Let's go to episodes, playlists. Peter Levenda. 7. I was wrong. I have 7 interviews with him. The last one that I did, I think, was in July of 2025. So I have a ton of interviews with him. Thank you, David, for your support. Yeah, that is good. I think they reinstated his account, didn't they? Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, I actually have more time now to. I do need to like. I'm going to take a week, like, and it's basically going to be my own little personal business trip to plan the future of the channel and to plan like things exactly like this. I do want to go to the Monroe Institute for something, but I just don't know what yet. Maybe. If you talk to people who knew me 10 years ago, they would not describe me as somebody who's laid back. Now you're making me yawn. You made me yawn, Miss Tessa. You should have mentioned the word. Now everybody's going to be yawning. Sorry. You got blocked 24 hours after. Oh, man, that's terrible. Yeah, yeah, and the nine. It's like his Sinister Forces books are amazing. I'm still reading the first one, but I read like 10, like 15 books at once. So I never kind of. Okay, so but Dr. Gallenberger has the digital course download. Oh, from his website. I plan to get it before a course, and I can get a discount. Really? Why would he scrub his AJ videos? That's weird. Oh, good to see you, Pavlos. Yeah, won't be any sleep. I got to finish. I have 3 more videos to edit. I've done all the audio, which is like takes 90% of the time. I've already kind of it. I just have to watch them through and then get the sizzle reel that I put at the beginning. That's literally all I have left for all of them. But you know, to edit a 1 hour video, it takes at least an hour, right? Because I'm just watching it. But I'm done most of the like cutting, like flipping back to like when the person's talking or both of us are there. Like I have like a process that makes that pretty quick. I did all that yesterday. I am on Fade to Black. They had a lot of Monroe. Oh, cool. I haven't read any of the stuff, but I had like 3 interviews with him, or 3 or 4 interviews. Okay, so Jamal says, have you thought of opening a second channel? Some people do it when the algorithm messed up theirs. Got the audience wrong, and keeps recommending the wrong people and get stuck. Yeah, but not for this stuff. I thought of like 2 other channels that were just different. One would be like based on financial modeling stuff, and then the other one would be like animating my short stories. But on the shit show, no. I continue to believe it's a shit show. Huh. I kind of want to actually go to Monroe, to be honest. Oh, wow. Why would he remove episodes? It's weird. If the channel blows up, I really hope it does, because then I could make a living doing only this, and then I could do other creative stuff. Holy shit! I didn't even tell you about the weird creative stuff that this happened. So I'm working on one of my short stories. I'm working on a comic book for like a script comic book. We have like an illustrator for a horror comic book series that'll be like a Kickstarter. I'm not running it or anything like that. It's somebody else. And one of the authors in Weird World War III, that author, I'm not going to say he or she, and I got approached by a film producer to potentially make a feature film. So that is ongoing. That sounds like fancy. Like if I get like $100, usually in the US, a film company would only pay the short story author and would just tell the anthologist to fuck off. But the film company that we may potentially be working with seems to be more amenable than that. So, but again, it's not going to be like some big payday or anything like that, but it's still kind of cool. All right, so Camilio is about a guy who was harassed by people playing with invisibility. Huh. What does your Monroe Institute take? I tried Gateway tapes and liked it. Liked it, so I want to be pro mama. But then there are talks of CIA. I'm like, I think both are true. I think both. I don't know about mind control, but there's definitely CIA connections because they sent the original remote viewers to Monroe. But I still think it's probably a good thing. Like a science fiction feature film with actors and everything. Yeah. So I can't say more because I don't, that's why I've been deliberately vague because these things, first you have to get an option and then they would have to raise money. And if they don't raise the money, it doesn't happen. So, but check out Weird World War III. That's actually in the links below, unless you're watching Facebook, in which case I had to delete the links in order to do this live stream there. Or on Twitter where they don't have that. But if you're watching YouTube, the links to Weird World War III are below. It is a story in there. All right. Yeah. I got a good night. Oh, that would be so dumb. So dumb. I like recovered all the money I lost and then it was like actually starting to go up again after they stopped this stupid thing. So anyway. All right. I got to go, everyone. Good night. God bless. And have a fabulous rest of your weekend. Talk soon.
She's dancing in the field, and the sun is in her eyes. Thousands are one in her eyes. So she stumbles through the field. She can't see, though she tries. Should've worn her pennant. Now she stumbles. Now she cries. Her skin's red.